The world is experiencing increased incidents of crime against other ethnic groups. President Joe Biden hosted the United We Stand Summit at the White House in September 2022 to combat hate fueled violence in the United States, citing his campaign pledge to heal the soul of the nation. The Center for the Study of Hate and Extremism cited that the rate of anti Asian crime has increased 339% in 2021, with New York, San Francisco, and Los Angeles surpassing all records set in 2020. At the summit, he signed the Anti Asian Hate Bill. I'm Addie Banks, and this is my report. It is time for straight talk about understanding why people commit crimes, and hate crimes in particular. A hate crime is defined as a bias motivated crime based upon prejudice against members or perceived membership in certain identity and racial groups. Negative stereotypes of these groups not only are acceptable in your space, but justifies hate against them. It's complicated. But let's start with reality truth, which is always simple. When people are angry, some strike out at those deemed responsible for their misery. From the school bully, domestic violence attackers, hate for an identity group worldwide, to out of control violence against that group worldwide. What is the effect on that targeted group? Generalized terror that inspires feelings of vulnerability and fear that they may be the next hate crime victim. In America, many people are angry, not because they are actually targeted, but because of their perception of unfair circumstances. They feel thrown away by society, dismissed, and from an early age, perhaps, expected to lose. They're made to feel less than others. They are watched by police or store employees or Karens while simply living life. That would make anybody angry. They are assigned reputations for membership in that identity group. Read the comments at the end of crime articles and wait for the first Black criminal reference. Then the stereotype about Blacks being lazy and dependent on welfare because fathers are irresponsible. Reinforcing untruths that impact all members of that group. The same is done for all identity groups around the world. You may not see the anger, only the results. But the question is, why are people angry and therefore apt to strike out at others? Do you think that if we knew this, then we can begin to fix it? Let's look at some reality. Articles presented by Yahoo News on Friday, October 7th, 2022. Fifth grade teacher arrested after admitting to active kill list of students and teachers she works with. Los Angeles Taco Bell stabbing of 82-year-old man in wheelchair caught on video. Teen boy 13 arrested for beating death of Los Angeles liquor store clerk during alleged robbery. Watch massive brawl at Walmart as people hit each other with metal poles. Video shows two men in Missouri accused of plotting to kill migrants at Texas border and making threats on TikTok. FBI says man gets 15 years to life in prison for continual sexual abuse of child he knew. Texas correctional officer arrested for allegedly trying to smuggle fentanyl, PCP, into prison. Death penalty sought for killer of pregnant Texas woman. San Francisco residents fed up with crime, homelessness. It's getting less safe. Murder in gay bar shocks Slovakia as president denounces hate. Purdue student killed in residence hall, roommate in custody. Serial robber who held up area gas stations in 5 cities is sentenced to prison. Police in wealthy Chicago suburb takes down $7.5 million theft ring, allegedly stealing and reselling retail items. Note that crime knows no single ethnicity. I see unhappy and angry people, as well as opportunists using crime to enrich themselves. Bottom line is, we all want to live a certain quality of life. But what impacts this? Can I thrive and live my desired life? Do I feel safe, secure, and protected? Does my government put me first by taking care of my life opportunities? Do people treat me with respect? Looking specifically at recent American experiences, citizens are struggling with many issues that impact the American melting pot. Let's look at just a few. Citizenship is important, but who are the gatekeepers charged with protecting your familiar way of life? How has employment in America been changed in the last 15, 20 years? Are jobs leaving the country? Who's hiring for certain jobs? Do you need to speak a language other than English? Are they looking for hires of the same ethnic or identity group? Have your perceived opportunities changed in the last 5 years? Who are your competitors? Truth is that along with the standard homeland competitors, America draws the best from around the world to compete with the average citizen. How has identity, politics changed how you live? It takes generations for different groups to bond and assimilate and learn to live in cooperation with each other based on shared respect that America calls the melting pot or the salad bowl. It takes time for this to happen. But in the meantime, newly arriving immigrants are rightly questioned about their loyalty to America. Expanding stereotypes due to a lack of historical knowledge can open pathways to a lack of respect for other ethnic groups. I'll give you an example. Asians, in their attempt to win in America, either dismiss or have no real understanding of why Ivy League schools seek to enroll historically disenfranchised ADOS, American descendants of slaves, to remedy past offenses. They feel discriminated against. They feel that the Constitution is not being upheld because their children have higher test scores than others. American fairness is debated. Also, COVID. People who blame Asians for the pain of losses due to COVID. We know that it has nothing to do with Asian citizens here for hundreds of years, and not even Chinese citizens. Asia or Asian is enough to be resentful. We'll let the sociologists and the criminologists and the psychologists explain this. But can you grasp better the beginnings of an understanding from this brief presentation about the concern for unknowing Asians come to seek the American dream? They're lured here by success stories from expats and told to come and win too. Despite experiencing some level of resistance wherever they go, the hope of creating a new and wonderful life swamps stories of deaths en route, disappointments in the foreign land, discrimination, hate crimes, and Asian American youth disproportionately committing suicide at a higher rate than other groups because of their seemed failure to live up to their expectations. Despite the increased hate crimes, and these are the ideal ethnic immigrants. It's easy to dismiss until you consider that Blacks are the most frequent victims of American hate crimes. And we have been here for over 500 years and been admirable, contributing, loyal citizens. Hate crimes cannot be signed away with legislation or by telling people to just be nice and get along. I will soon introduce a series about Asian hate crimes to further examine why they are targeted for violence by understanding homeland rules and human nature. I'll begin with why Vancouver, Canada is the anti-Asian hate crime capital of North America. Join me.